What do you want?
How are you, Daniel?
My sister is gone. For the first time, I'm alone in the world. And I feel it. Still, I'm doing two people's work now, so there's no time for the sullens. No strength for them either. Listen to me complaining, eh? When you've done nothing but help me. I tell you what. As a token of my ever-undying gratitude, how's about I sell you my half of the map?
Generous even in his grief.
I may be interested.
I'll give you a good price.
Goodbye for now, Daniel.
Aye. Goodbye.
The map says the treasure is close. Now this place looks like the drawings on the map.
The treasure must be hidden nearby.
What the hell is this place?
This is no cave. It's a tomb.
Well, that was unexpected.
You never know. One man's trash.
There's usually another man's trash too.
Still a-roaming, are we?
Aye, and still asking questions. It's time I asked you about Deborah Comenius.
If you tread carefully, I may even answer.
Did your sister take part in Deborah's execution?
If she had, would I have followed her? No. My sister was selfish as all hell, but she was no bigot. She removed me from the horror. Then she made me swear to bite my tongue and never speak of it. Thick-Skin never believed Deborah a witch. She told me to love who I loved, but counselled caution.
Twisted, but pragmatic. Thick-Skin always protected her sister.
Caution, indeed. I did nothing. As my love stood up to her persecutors, I did nothing. When I could bear it no longer, I hid my tears and looked away.
I too saw my beloved die for my failings.
Then you know. To speak of it is near unbearable.
Why was Deborah's ghost so eager to see you punished?
Because I let her die without a word. Because I refused to share her fate. Because I failed her.
I'm sorry to ask it, but I must know. Did you have a hand in her arrest?
No. Captain Pennington was the first to accuse Deborah of witchcraft.
Why would he do that? Had he proof?
There was no proof because it was a lie. Thick-Skin believed it was personal to him.
How so?
She knew him a little. They'd hunt together. She said his anger at Deborah came from an older wound.
How are you?
As well as I could hope. I've addressed what could be addressed. Soon we'll put these crooked woods behind us.
Where will yous go?
Far, far away, and once we get there, we'll go a little further just to be sure. My sister was right. This place is cursed.
The region is not cursed. The people are cursed, and they brought it on themselves.
So, fair to say that all is well.
All seem well by Jacob Lind, who was recently returned from the wild.
What's wrong with him?
I find it hard to credit, and you may disbelieve it too, but Jacob Lind believes he is a wolf.
I'm trying to track someone down, and I was hoping you could help me.
I'm busy. Find them yourself.
I'm not asking you to do anything. I just need information. I may have some to share in return. So, I found your name in an old letter. It was addressed to someone by the name of Grace. It was written by Deborah Comenius.
You just can't leave a scab unpicked, can you? Especially if it's not your own.
Deborah wrote of a cabin in the woods. Could this Grace person have found it?
I don't know. It was all a very long time ago. I had forgotten her.
Did Grace ask you for help?
No. Grace Pennington vanished. No one ever saw her again.
Grace Pennington? As in Captain Saul Pennington?
Pennington had a daughter, and you knew her.
I knew her, but not well. Deborah had her in the school and spoke of her from time to time. Shy as a porcupine and twice as prickly, as I recall.
Deborah wrote the letter in February 1688. When did Grace disappear?
Months later, Pennington accused Deborah of being a witch. In my recollection, that moment overshadows all others.
Could Grace have survived alone out here in the woods?
Possibly. But could she remain unseen? No. All thought she'd left New Eden. Gone west, perhaps into the wilds.
Does the name Seeker mean anything to you?
It sounds less a name than a calling, but neither mean anything to me. We done?
One more question. Did the school teacher keep a cabin in the woods?
Deborah spent much time walking the woods, trying to understand New Eden, she said. Now that you mention it, I remember a snowstorm. She spent 3 days in a hut not far from here. Southeast, across the drawbridge, along the path towards the mine. If it's still there.
Thank you for your time. Farewell, Kate Newsmith.
A goodbye to you too, Red McWraith. And whatever it is you seek, may you find it.
Folk look well. Maybe they'll settle here.
Are you still here?
Why, you're welcome. It's an honour to help you out. No thanks necessary.
Spare me your humour, soldier.
What do you know of a young woman named Grace?
I don't know where you heard that name, Banisher. But you should not say it again.
It's important, else I wouldn't ask.
I owe you, Banisher. And I believe your word is good, but I cannot help you.
I read the name on a letter. It was a very interesting missive. According to this letter, what happened to Grace was entirely your fault.
No! The fault was hers. She was stubborn.
The letter told quite the tale. I'd like to hear your side of it.
I have heard tell, sir, of the contumacious Scots, and I did not hear wrong. For you are indeed relentlessly, perversely, bloody-mindedly obstinate.
Why the mystery?
A stubborn and difficult child. Always quick to disobey. Especially when the orders were mine. Never understood her antagonism or hostility. A sheer bloody-minded antipathy. She didn't get it from her mother. Now I have no daughter, and it is all the better for all concerned.
The letter was clear. You're to blame for what happened to her.
She has no one to blame but herself. I tried to prevent it. She would not listen. I hurt her. That, sir, is laughable. I worked hard to make up for her mistakes, so she would not pay the price for them.
Whatever you did seems to have made things worse.
I stood firm. That, sir, is what must be done, and that, sir, is what I do. I stand firm.
Want to tell me what happened?
If you must know it, I sent her away. I exiled her.
Why? Why would you do that?
She left me with no choice. I caught her in an act of sin. I caught her reading, studying. Witchcraft, sir. I caught her studying witchcraft. There was a book. I don't know where it came from, and damned if I could get rid of it, but she would not put it down. Not even after I forbade it.
Now, why does Lammy Haskell suddenly spring to mind? And Deborah, too.
Though Deborah was innocent, you accused her of witchcraft. Do you deny it?
Deny it? I claim it. By law, she was no witch. But neither was she innocent. She was poison, a ruiner of children. She corrupted my grace. I am a much changed man with the intervening years. Looking back, with the benefit of experience, I was entirely right and would not change a thing.
If I came to learn your daughter survived, if I knew where she was...
No, I'd have nothing to say to her. For me and all who know me, Grace Pennington is long dead. You wanted answers. Now you have them. And there are no more.
One less to worry about.
Symbols. The hut may be near. I sense magic. Could Seeker be here?
Faded with age. Ought to know what it was for. But this stuff is thick.
I can see just fine. can't be a coincidence. Could Grace be Seeker? Dusty. Seeker hasn't been here for a long time.
Anyone home? Deborah knew about this place.
Focus on the matter at hand, Red.
I am. Fine wardrobe for a youngster.
They're rags.
And they won't help us find her. Aye.
More demonology. Unusual for a witch. These two schools of magic don't usually see eye to eye. Perhaps Lammy could help us with the spell.
Quite the fall from grace.
That's not funny, and neither is this.
Aye, fair enough.
Seeker drew this. Wait, we've seen this before. There's a ritual of dissimulation, and we need the catalyst. Same circle as the one on the entrance. The circle powers the door, but I don't know the symbol. I don't know it, but I think Lammy might. We did well to come here. Now we know where she's hiding. Soon we'll be able to use the pond. All we need is the key to the dissimulation spell, and Lammy Haskell will help us with that.
Aye, sure.
Whatever it is, out with it.
Oh, now what I say is worth listening to.
Only when it doesn't slow us down.
You're in an awful hurry. It's as if you can't wait to leave.
It's not like that. It's complicated.
Aye, all right. I believe you.
No governor, no meeting house. And it seems, no faith.
Red! Antea! You have timed your arrival to perfection. My speech is almost done, and by almost done, I mean 'tis almost written. I need an ending, a high note on which to finish. I was thinking of talking about you. Would you permit it?
Does your speech to your people. Trust yourself. Do what you think's best.
This comes to you so easily. Were you always so eloquent?
Well, I've led men to war, and fearful men need words of courage.
Well put. I shall take it as inspiration as I return to my writing. With the added spice of your profound wisdom, I have faith that this speech will bring much succour to the company. Oh, what remains of it?
We found a page ripped from a book. Here, do you recognise it?
Let me see. Is this from the Trismegistus riddles? Yes, it seems to be. Why would you bring me one mildewed page from an amusing but harmless little book?
Why would you fail to disclose that you'd given another ritual to another friend?
It was a long time ago. I said after Caleb I'd distribute no more rituals, and that's what I've done. Not done.
We know. But we're looking for Grace Pennington now, and we were hoping you'd help us find her.
Who?
Really, boy?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mistress Antea. You said Grace's name, and it is my reflex to protect her.
Ever heard of someone named Seeker?
Seeker? No. Sounds like a title, like my true pursuer. This Seeker... Is she Grace? Is she alive? Do you know where she is?
We think she's Grace. We hope she's still alive. We're trying to find her.
We think she's hidden herself away behind your dissimulation spell.
Then you'll need to unravel it. Shouldn't be too difficult once you're armed with the salient facts.
When was the last time you saw Grace Pennington?
It had to be a few days after I brought her the cloaking ritual. When I returned to visit, the hut had disappeared. Which makes sense now that I think of it.
That's it? You never again tried to find your best friend, your only friend.
Well, you see, some weeks later the first whispers of witchcraft started to fly about town. I kept my head down and Grace was better off out of it. I was right. And I'm glad she escaped. Strange to think of her again after so long.
How does the ritual work?
It creates illusions so effective that they deceive even the keenest eye. There are more effective cloaking spells, but the Trismegistus riddles do have a simple elegance.
The short version, please, ending with how we break it.
Yes, of course. To achieve that, all you need is the caster's full name and the symbol used to make fast the illusion.
Grace Pennington and a triangle pointing downwards.
Well then, now all you need is a simple counterspell from the same book and... Oh my.
What now?
I'm afraid I left my copy in the Araloo. In the void.
That's just great. Just great.
Yes, but in my defence, once you've retrieved the book, dispelling Grace's illusion will be like a walk in the park. Comparatively speaking.
Thank you for your help.
Could you tell Grace that I'm still her friend? I'd be glad to see her again.
Once we found her, we'll be glad to tell her. Come on then. Talk to me. I'll hold back.
I haunt you as a ghost, and you act as though that's normal. I'm dead, and I'm not all right. I'm not all right at all, but you pretend not to see it. That makes me angry. And it makes me sad.
I never wanted that.
I know, but it still felt that way.
Look, I couldn't talk about it.
Couldn't talk about what?
You accused me of pretending not to see that you're dead.
That's how I feel, Red. You have to accept it.
I couldn't face your death. I admit that. I rely on you. Your presence reassures me. I dread your absence. I can barely bring myself to think about it. I don't wish to deny your pain. No. I've just tried to deal with mine.
Wow. That's... I hadn't thought of it that way. Thank you for your honesty.
They brought more friends.
Talking all the fun.
You're done. Our book isn't here.
Our book might be up there.
I might need some help.
I might be able to give it.
This looks like Lami's stuff, only more scattered.
Even with the void shifting, the book should be around here somewhere.
Got it. That seemed a little too easy.
We have the symbol we need. Let's go back to the mountain and find her hiding place.
Did you hear that?
First things first, Red. This isn't over yet. Think you could take on a ghost?
All you've got.
Make a run for it! This is it. Seeker is behind this wall. Let the veil of unknowing be lifted. Let us see through the eyes of Grace Pennington.
Ceridian?
You're surprisingly slow, even for a banisher. You're late. Or early.
At last we find you.
Missed me that much, did you? You could have hurried. You always think you have more time, and suddenly you don't.
It wasn't in vain. We have come far and learned much.
I hope so. But don't think you have it all figured out. You're still banishers, after all.
We are indeed, Grace.
So, you know.
When I asked if you'd known Deborah Comenius, you denied it. Why?
Seeker never met Deborah. Grace did. I am no longer Grace, and I don't like to speak for her. Deborah was Grace's teacher. She encouraged her to be herself, to become who I am now. They did not know one another, but without Deborah, I'd have never met Ceridian. And with Ceridian, my entire life changed. Deborah suffered terribly, and the fate she met was exactly the fate I fled. I accept it now. I accept it all. Ceridian has left a hollow, and I am called to fill it. I accept. I am ready for my role in this world. Are you ready for yours?
We looked for you everywhere. Why did you leave the Maya marshes?
I needed time, silence, my own space.
Hidden away behind Lammy Haskell's dissimulation spell.
Oh, you know about that. It held a full 7 years. Isn't that impressive? This is the place where I embrace solitude. This is where I made it a strength.
Did Ceridian find you here?
Not physically. I dreamed of her. I dreamed of the Maya marshes. So, I went there. And I found the island.
Quite the thing. Meet your dream in person.
I suppose so. At the time, I was more focused on the fun I'd had getting to the island.
Also,
Our first dance. I admit I ran away. But we have danced many times since then. Old Mosshead, Ceridian and me.
You learned magic by yourself.
Not really. Not at all. First, Lammy Haskell's forbidden books told me that magic was real. They say you must look out for the quiet kids. And that was me and Lammy. Reading those books opened my eyes to worlds of wonder. But I did not learn witchcraft until Ceridian found me. Lammy showed me the view from the prison window, but my mistress walked me right out the door.
Lammy was relieved to hear you're well.
he talked about paying you a visit.
When I was exiled, he was the only one who'd help. Sweet boy. But now is not the time for visitors. Later, perhaps. Later, when you have lifted the curse.
The boy will be disappointed. He has a thing for witchery. The time has come for us to go back to New Eden and face the nightmare.
Yes. Balance must be restored. You must face your fate and end the curse.
Ceridian said the only way back was through the void. But the pond seems broken. We need your help.
Of course you do.
We're listening.
Remember Ceridian's words. If you were to defeat the nightmare, your hearts must be open to each other. No barriers. Your bond must be strong.
We've never been stronger.
This void breach is not like the others. This one leaks. This one sits at the rotten core of the entire region. You must leave whatever still burns in your hearts at the threshold. If you don't, the void will kill you.
Do you know where in New Eden Town the void shall lead us?
The trick is to focus on your happiest memories and let them take you there. At least that's how it's always worked for me.
We'll try.
And when at last you succeed, I too shall return to New Eden Town. I shall see you there.
And with that, we'll take our leave.
Bring peace to this troubled land and your troubled hearts, my friends. I know it's not easy to hear, especially when it's me saying it.
On the contrary.
Thank you, Seeker. We'll do our best.
What's that?
That is not your concern.
I like your new place a lot better than the old one.
I was a different person then.
This will be useful. They've seen better days.
As have we all.
She's the custodian now. May she have all the wisdom of her mentor and more.
I wish I had half the wisdom of mine.
You're not as stupid as you sound. You'll be fine.
What do you want?
We found a cursed object.
Did you use Fear God's ritual on it?
This curse seems different, stronger somehow. We were hoping you could help.
A curse could mean different things, depending. What do you think happened?
An entity took over a woman's ghost, or perhaps mimicked her so to torture her grieving husband. The mirror had belonged to a couple who died, violently. Red and I both felt its influence.
What became of the husband?
We resolved the haunting. He lived. We're not sure what happened to her. It was a bit of a mess.
Sounds like you found something really dangerous. Well done.
What could the entity be? We've linked it to the void. It was sharp, perceptive, highly manipulative.
It came from the void. Who cares what it is? Don't trifle with it. Send the bloody thing back.
What do you think we should do with it?
3 possibilities come to mind. Hair from someone who's escaped this entity's grasp. Soil from the breach through which it crawled out of the void. And the roots from a tree that has seen 5,000 moons. None is powerful enough by itself, but all 3 things combined shall serve the trick.
Hair. As in, all of it.
If you don't wish to scalp its owner, a lock should suffice.
That's good news. The void? Again?
Funny thing, the closer to the breach the soil lay, the more likely your ritual is to succeed.
You know this place better than we do. So where to find such a tree?
In the dark woods stands a great and crooked tree. It's surely the oldest living thing in the whole of New Eden. I'd go there.
Thank you. Really.
We'll be going. Hope to talk again soon.
Sure.